All right, we are live. Let me get this tweeted out so everybody can join in here. One second. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. So I hope everything's coming through okay. That's kind of my goal right here. Apparently, YouTube has changed their rules. There's a new law out where you have to specify if your video is for children or not, and so if it's made for kids. And anyway, so I think I said no, so it should make this go through okay. But anyway, hope everybody's doing well and had a great trading day today. Before we get started here, I just want to remind everybody that everything that we're going to talk about today is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Alrighty, good, good, good. Hope everybody's doing great. So let's see. So everything's coming through okay too. Good. All right. So let's take a look and see where we're at in the market. So far SPX, right, pushing up off of the hammer month, right, blue hammer month. The weekly chart. Sorry, guys, just making sure everything's coming through. Okay. Yeah. The weekly chart is kind of consolidating here. We got to the upper Bollinger Band. The weekly chart closed above it, right? Weekly price closed above it. We pushed to all-time highs, right? And we came off of it, right? So now look at where we're at the daily, right? So this is very, very interesting, right? So I mentioned yesterday that we had a pretty narrow range inside day. Now, narrow range inside days should always be things that make you go, right? So especially in the market, right? Especially on the market index, right? So, but interesting everywhere else, right? So here, when we get to a part where we start to get a little bit overbought, right, on the RSI, and you start to see, some weakness in the trend line, right, and you start to see an inside day, right, just keep our eyes open for something interesting, okay? So we saw one here, right, kind of narrow ranges, a little harami right there, right, and then it ended up working its way back up, right? But then we saw this guy here, right, as we started getting to this trend line, right, and then we worked our way down. Then we gave it two inside days right there, and it was over. After this guy, see ya, right? Okay, here, same thing, right? It was starting to work its way up. Now, gave this guy right here, this was, started to work its way down. Instead of up, and then this guy was the one, right? So just have to keep an eye out for these, right? They're not saying it's going down, but it is a point of interest. Now, the S&P futures are down like 9 points right now. So, is that indicative that we're going to be down tomorrow? No, not necessarily, right? We could be up 20 points in the morning. We've seen this happen like all the time, right? But it is interesting. Today might be a little bit different, right? Because what happened today, right? We took the inside day up and we put a topping tail at all-time highs, right? So a lot of things were fulfilled today, right? In terms of price action, right? So when we see a bar like this off of an inside day, right, we have a potential for a reversal, right? Or at least testing the bottom of that inside day. So anybody who's in the group knows I tweet out key levels for our go-to list. And if we have an inside day, these are very key levels, right? And they stay on the list for a while because they tend to get tested later on, right? So here you had this inside day here, right? You had this inside day here, and it worked its way down, right? Kind of came back in a little bit, and then what did it do? It came back and tested that level before going down, okay? Very important stuff, right? I mean, this day right here, it failed to the upside, then boom, down. Okay, here, right, it took the inside day up and it wanted to at least test the low end of that level before working its way back up again. So we tested up. Now, do we just test down and push, and start filling some gaps, or do we just test and just a little bit of a pullback and work our way back up again, right? Now today's high actually is now, right, fresh high, fresh trend line is using that inside day as support. So it's a little bit less ominous like that, but we'll see. We'll see what it does tomorrow. See if it gives us another lower shadow or something to, for maybe if it tests this level right here, we see a bar like this, right? Kind of pushes down like that, close below there. If we have increased volume on the SPX or on the I'm sorry, on the S&P futures or on the SPY, right? Then that might be an indication that we're ready. We're getting ready to at least test this cloud down here, right? In the next few weeks or so. So something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind. But before that happens, right, we have to break through the channel, right? So to do that, right, here's our geometric channel. This thing has been awesome, right? We've been tracking this for 2 years now, right? So we work all the way up to 2018, boom, 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 hit these levels twice, down, boom, 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 right? Like 4 hits right here, then down, then back to this level, back up, Christmas reversal, all the way back up to the top, boom, boom, down, pitchfork median line. Now we're back up again. Now we're over it, right? So so as long as it holds and defends this channel, right, we are bullish until proven otherwise, right? So we'll see how that works, on the way up. So good stuff. All right, let's take a look at today's price action. These are the These are the levels that our subscribers get here before each market day, right? So you can see the price action here on the SPX, right? 5-minute chart, we gap up a little bit, right? We push these levels, we test this closing gap level up here, right? And then, right, this candle right here says, hey, let me test a little bit higher. Forms a 15-orb high, gets to this level, right? Tries to push here, test upper shadow, back down, and then a reversal over reversal, and that's nasty. Right, when that happens, that's nasty. Because this one here, it's like, you might want to try it. This is interesting, right? Because this is like the 10 o'clock jiggle right here. That's why having stops is so important, right? So if it's not going, right, if you caught a little bit of this, cool, raise those stops to profit. And that's why you guys see me, anybody sees me trades, sometimes I'll move those stops pretty quickly. We get moving, we get the profit, boom, put those stops up there. Because guess what? Making, 10 cents, 20 cents is better than losing, $1.50, right? So, but what this candle did here is, boom, pushed over the prior all-time highs, right? Pushed over the prior all-time highs, and then continue to move, right? And give you new all-time highs up there. So this one gave an 11 o'clock jiggle, right? So anyway, it kind of worked its way down. But it did, right? It worked its way down, and then of course, President's talking today about the economy. It's like, oh, I'm not going to talk about China, and then it's like, then it's like all the Q&A was about China. It was like all the way down. But look what it did. It held a lot of key levels today, very important stuff. And right around here, yesterday we talked about the 3 o'clock jiggle, and boom, all the way up. Nice little move into the close, right? That's what we like to see. If you're hanging around at the lows at 3 o'clock, could see a reversal. If you're hanging out the highs around 10 o'clock, could see a reversal. Now, they were hanging out at the highs here a little bit, right? Got to keep those stops, too. That's the one thing. Always keep those stops going. Okay, good. So that was fun. Fun day today. So looking forward to another awesome one tomorrow. So today we're going to talk about engulfment patterns, and the actual setup is called 10pp. So it's really the 10-minute penny pincher. Okay, and so this method is same stuff. It's the penny pincher method right here, scalping method, right, that we could look at. This method uses the 10-minute chart. Okay, so let's take a look at that. So I'm going to switch that over here. Okay, and this is actually pretty good for today. So let's see how it played out on the 10-minute. I'm going to keep all the levels up, and we'll just do that for SPX. What do we do? Oh, I hit 10 days. Sorry. 10-minute chart. There we go. Okay, there's the 10-minute chart. So what it is, okay, is that during the first hour, essentially what you do is you look for a reversal candle, right? So your first reversal candle is you look for an engulfing pattern on that candle. All right, and then you look for a reversal off of that. So I know it sounds a little convoluted. So let me explain 1 second. Okay? All right, so the idea is the entry is, all right, you take trades, you only take the trade within the first hour and the last hour of the trading day. So anywhere between 9:30 and 10:30. Okay? So anywhere between 9:30 and 10:30. All right? So anywhere in this range, right? So one way to do it is like Thinkorswim has these little kind of like these blocks, these 30-minute blocks or whatever, right? So it's like anywhere in these first two segments you could trade it. Anywhere in these last two segments you could trade it. Okay, so what you do is, so for the bullish engulfment, you buy at the market price when the white body of a current bar exceeds the high of the last dark body bar. Okay, so in other words, you would buy it here if you had a red bar. So we didn't have a red bar. Okay, so it just kind of kept working its way up, right? Now here, in the last hour, we had a bullish bar right here, okay? Then we had a bearish bar, and then you look to go long, right, after the bearish bar, once you could engulf over it, right? So we had this right here, so this one pushed above it. Once we got above this level, we would look to go along here. So it actually gives extra confidence here. You had the 3 o'clock jiggle start to work its way up, right? Came back down, gave you a red bar, right? And then you engulf that bar here with the real body here, and then it pushed over this level here and came up. Okay, so and it's the same thing as the opposite, right? If you had a green bar and then you engulf that bar, right, you would look to take that to the downside. Okay, so that was a good engulfing bar off the real body on that one. So let's take a look at some other examples. Let's see what we had today on Netflix. All right, 1 second. So let's take a look here. First two candles right here. Here not quite an engulfing bar off of this. Of course, you had your 10-minute jiggle right here, right? So not quite. So you had your red bar here, you finally went green. You didn't quite engulf the bar, but you did push off that bar to the upside, right? Last few minutes here, this is a little bit tough. Not too much going on with Netflix on that one today. Nvidia. Right, it's just one of those ones you just kind of keep an eye out for. It's just a cool day trading tactic, right? Just a cool day trading tactic. So give us 1 second here as the data loads. I like how it always takes longer for the data load when there's no active data, but like during the day everything moves fine. But anyway, let's take a look here. Okay, so here would have been a scalp move, right? So you had a bullish bar, but essentially a bullish candle here. You engulf the candle here with this one, right? And then you take it, for a little move to the downside, right? Here at the end, okay, this is a good one right here. Bearish candle, right? Bullish engulfing, right? The real body engulfs this one. You take it as you approach above those levels. So you get a nice move off of that. Okay, Apple. I don't know why the data stream's like taking so long. I don't have that much data here. Give it a second. Sometimes it does get a little slow at night for some reason. Okay, should be coming up here shortly. Okay, so we can see this here with Apple. Okay, bullish candle right here, bearish engulfing, right? Once you break down, right? Now it does say the low of the candle typically in what I've read about it, but sometimes off that real body you can still get a nice move off of it, right? So that's one of the things I've noticed. You had a bullish one here, not too much in the close. Apple's been pretty choppy. Amazon. Yeah, the way I read it was it's the white body or the green body of the current bar exceeds the high of the last dark body bar. So the high of it would imply the high, but sometimes you could use the real body on it. But let's take a look here with Amazon. 1 second. As the data loads. Okay. This engulfing bar right here. Not much of a move on that. Again, always have stops. Not too much going on Amazon today. Roku. Facebook should be a good one. If there was even a pullback, I don't think there was. It had such a good move today. If Roku gives us a good one, we'll wrap up with that. But it is interesting. It's just showing. Basically, what it's showing is that the open, like all the hands have been revealed, right? Like, right, and at the close, right? This is where the momentum moves come in, right? So, what it's saying is like, okay, if it's pulling back, it's probably short-lived, right? So, it's that's the concept behind it. Right. Essentially it's it enables you an opportunity to enter into a trend after it's pretty much been revealed, so you're not chasing right the whole time, right? And in fact, this one was pretty good, right? So we had a nice green bar right here, right? And with Facebook today, it really ripped today, right? And so obviously you want to find a way to get an entry. One of the things we looked at in our group this morning was this bull flag, right? And then we pushed through it, right? Gave a nice entry off of it. So, but what do we see here? Right, we see we have this bar right here. Okay, we're not engulfing that. We have this bar right here. That down, we're not engulfing that. Right. We have this bar right here. No engulfment. No engulfment. We have this bearish bar here. Can't get below it. But we have this bar right here. It pushes all the way through it. Right. Doesn't quite cover the whole real candle, but boom, we get right over that red bar and then see ya off of that. Right. So it's a cool little thing. It's neat, you start to look at it. Sometimes you start to see this. It's not going to happen all the time, but it's one of those things. If you're looking for an entry, and the market is, is open, you're kind of seeing these things moving, and you're like, oh man, I can see it moving that way, but how do I get in it? Other than looking for, something like an inside bar or something like that. This is a great way, right? It's a great opportunity, to be able to, kind of capture that. Like here, with you have this doji right here on Tesla, and the real body didn't fully engulf it. But it pushed down below it, right, and covered the majority of it with its real body here, and then pushed above it for a move up, right, in the first half hour, in the first hour, right? This one here, right, bullish bar, you had some engulfment on this one. It pushed to the downside a little bit, right? And then kind of tried. So anyway, it's a cool little tactic. So something to look at. I would recommend, just kind of going back and testing it, sort of like we did here, and just seeing how it plays out. But it is neat, right? Because we get the majority of the moves, at the open. Like most folks trade at the open. That's why you have all this volume here, right? And then you have volume at the end too, so you can catch these moves. So you combine that with the 10 o'clock jiggle and the 3 o'clock jiggle, right? And you see the engulfment, and it takes you to your next level. Basically, is the idea. So anyway, I hope you guys found that helpful. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those into the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can. We'll try to wrap up by 10:30, so everybody can have a good night's sleep, and we can have another awesome trading day tomorrow. I can't believe it's already Wednesday tomorrow. It's every day, every time. I don't know what it is. Every time the day's over, it's like, oh, ready to go again. Let's go. You know. I honestly, since the opening is so busy here, right? Only sometimes, like when the market is just going crazy, right? If we have like some nasty down move day, like is it really just super busy? But it's like by 10:30, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do it again, right? And then you gotta wait for the rest of the day. You get chop and all that stuff, and then you miss some trades and all that stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, and then at the end, it's like, hold on, let me do something, right? So it's like, you can actually plan your day around the first hour and the last hour of it, right? And then there's some cool stuff that can happen intraday, especially news techniques and all that stuff. But anyway, trading is fun. Okay, so a couple of chart requests that got emailed through. So let's see. So I've got Shirley has a few here, so we'll start with that. Tesla, what a day today. FSCT, or what a good couple days. But yeah, Tesla with a great reversal today. FSCT, okay. For Scout Technologies, okay. So let's see. So we have here this. Yep, here's your breakout bar, bullish move over that, with increased volume. So nice move after earnings. So yeah, it could work. Surely it's got a little thin cloud right here. It could try to work its way through. It's got a big gap to fill above, so that's neat. Ameren, big day today. Big day. Just be careful. BA, right, had a big day the other day, right? And look what happened. It's always got to be careful with those big range days, right? So when you see that, right, you have this inside day after. Just watch out for that. That's all. So AMRN, a lot of folks are asking me about this one today. I just have to pass when it's such a big candle. Doesn't mean it's not going to move a couple days after that. I mean, for sure, but it is. It's just a concern. That's all. So to buy into that, right? Okay. The day to have been long on Ameren was here or here, one of these candles, right? Even this one's pretty good, right? That got you started. A little bit of a pullback. Could re-enter here, okay? Up to the 200-day, take profit there, right? And then if you're still in it, you just got lucky today. So good. Chem, boom, big move on a gap up. Now, did that run into any resistance today? It did. That's why I kind of hung out. So usually you would see if you gapped over like this level right here, you'd see a bigger. If you gapped over here, you'd see a bigger move on it. So I'm just wondering. I mean, it's up there, but it's like it's kind of muted. Okay, MRVL. Yeah, good move. Nice gap and go. Gapped over two key pivots right here and got a nice move off of that. So it's a good move there on MRVL. Inside day, gap and go. I like it. And TSN. Oh yeah, TSN. Gosh, that thing was down this morning pretty heavy, and then they reversed it on the conference call. Talk about damage control, right? And then it just was gap and go. Got over this level right here, got over this level right here, got over this level right here, here, and it finally came into a little resistance. So just be careful with this, Shirley. It's got to get above, basically 89, 90, and then it can start working on that gap above there. And then one more, WRK. West Rock. Double inside day up. We love it. So a little upper shadow right there, so may consolidate for a little bit, but nice move today. Good job. Gia, what's going on? Good evening. I hope everything's well. I hope all is well with you. If we have time, we do. Let's take a look. CNC. Thank you for tuning in. CNC, inside day up. Hot dog pattern. off the inside day, so that's looking pretty good here. It could start to work its way up. I mean, it's been bullish, right? I mean, the real day to be long on this one was inside day here on the inside day up. Looks like these were pretty good levels to get going into the cloud. Nice gap up. Of course, after earnings is always a good location. So this could have been a possible pullback day, and then up. I like it. Still working its way up. Got some levels. Nice close today over all these other levels. Okay, I like it. Volume's down a little bit, but still looking bullish. Nice stuff. Netflix. Inside day. Inside day at the top of the cloud. From the Clan McLeod. Yeah, so just watch this. If it breaks out today's high, then we could see a push up. V. Oh, V. V, V, V. Give it a second for the data to load. Okay. It's doing pretty good. I mean, it really looked like it was going to break out a little while ago. It kind of pulled back a little bit, right? Never closed. That was a key entry day right there. Never closed above it, right? Came back, tested the cloud. I like how it's holding the cloud here. Give it one more shot, right? Another pullback possibly to the ex-dividend date, and then maybe see if we can get going after that. KO. Still working its way down, right? This is a good potential day to enter right here, right? And then it's just continuing to work its way down. Looks like it really wants that 200 day still. AbbVie. Topping tail. Just be careful with that. Might want to come back and test the trend line. And Snap. That's neat. Just we'll pull back to the 200 day right there, and then up, and then yeah, I mean it's kind of doing some stuff. Here's a little trend line right here. It would have been nice if it closed bullishly over these levels right here, but now it's got to close bullishly over today's high for a possible shot at the cloud. Okay, Superstar, what's going on? Amazon. Yep, kind of struggling a little bit. Again, it got up to its 200 day here into the cloud, and is now just kind of had a couple lower lows, tried today, filled a little gap there, and kind of worked its way down. So we'll see what it does here. It might come test the bottom of the cloud and then try to work its way back up. It's been relatively weak. It's been relatively weak compared to the rest of the market. Google, this is one I don't trade anymore because of just how funky it is. It has so much funky price action. The option activity is rough. But if let's see if a trend line comes up here. Yep. So here's your trend line. So it's still holding trend, right? So as long as it's holding trend, it's our friend. Okay. So may pull back, maybe this like 1290 level, maybe find some support there. Tesla. Tesla been so strong. I mean, just beautiful move. Beautiful move after earnings. It's trying to get to this, these levels here. 389.61 is the high, so it's only 40 points away. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it and see how it holds. In the meantime, we have a fresh high, so we can put a fresh trend line on this. If it'll render for it. There you go. So see if that holds that trend. I love being able to do that from the gap up, from pre-gap. Love that. So yeah, it's holding trend. So bullish still proven otherwise. And Apple. Apple is holding trend. I have to be careful with this. This trend line right here, right, is really actually that's a bad tick. I remember seeing it intraday and it only went down to like 241 or something like that. So I draw it from here, right? And so it's fresh high, but let's see how it holds those levels. Good stuff. Thank you. Experience and thoughts. What's going on? Good evening, Nudie Poo. Hey, Silver and CGC. Let's take a look. Do. Oof. All right, there's my trend lines. Okay, so there we go. We got this here. A couple different levels, right? It had this support level right here that it held this day, and then a gap below it, It's like, oh yeah, everything's good. It's holding support, right? So still this open gap below here. So we'll see if that holds. 200-day moving average right here. Starting to poke its head above the downward trend line, so let's see if we can try to get back above it. If we're, if the futures stay down tonight, like it might be up tomorrow, so that could be good. CGC. Inside day, down. Let's see where it is in terms of the macro trend line, right? Tried to bust out here, right? That's why I say, surely, guys, when we have a big day like this, you got to be careful, right? It lures a lot of people in. Trust me, I've been there. Oh yeah, it's awesome. There's some good news. Big volume coming in. It's ready. Inside day, down. So what happened? Because the big money that's in here doesn't care if it pulls down to here, right, and then eventually works its way up, right? For us, it does matter, right? So that's why we have to be very, very precise with our entries, right? Like here, like downward move, Morningstar setup up to the top of the channel breakdown, move to this, support level. We got to use that, right? So that's why here I would wait until a bullish close over that high, and then even there you got a little resistance above, so it makes it a little bit tricky. So good stuff. Actually, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Raymond, what's going on? SVM. Silver Corp. Boom. Yeah, nice close above the prior day's high. Little decreased volume, right? But it had nice volume yesterday, actually. Yesterday was the day, really, to get long, or at least to attempt long, right? Because you have this trend line right here, okay, right there. Here's all your minor pivots. Close bullishly above it. Get nice follow through. Right now it's up at those high levels. Good. Jay, what's going on? How are you, my friend? Thank you for tuning in. Always appreciate it. MTN, what's going on? The 3 jiggle worked pretty good today on QQQ. Thanks for the training. My pleasure. Let's take a look at QQQ. 3 o'clock jiggle. Let's see. Yep, there it is. Hanging out around the lows right around 3 o'clock, and then jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. I love it. Good job. And the Qs are still holding trend. Similar to the SPX there. Good stuff. Actually, UNH, too much consolidation, waiting for a setup. Yeah, so UNH. Again, we still wait till it to draw right here. We still have that bull flag, right? With the bull flag breakout, looked like we had that doji right there. So that doji is really important, right? We were looking for a doji sandwich on that one. Never came to fruition, right? So what it turns is, what did price tell us? Price told us that that was a reversal doji, right? So it worked its way back down. Now we have an inside bar, right? So where's that inside bar want to go? I don't know. Maybe it wants to test the scene of the breakdown right here. So we'll keep an eye on that. At this point, it looks a little bearish, right? So, but we'll see how it see if it can see what it does. See how it holds. Okay, I mean, it had a decent close today, so you got to give it some credit. Good. What did I miss here? How did I jump all the way down there? Okay, sorry. Sometimes this jumps around, guys. My bad. MTN, a lot of engulfing candles today. GDX, FDX, and cost. Yeah, let's take a look. So GDX. Sorry, guys. Sometimes the YouTube chat box jumps around. Yeah, so GDX, inside bar. Yeah, nice engulfing candle right there. It's not bullish engulfing because it's the real body's not engulfing the prior real body, but the whole candle is, right? So it is an engulfing candle. But I like it. It's come back, test the trend line, could be good for a bounce. FDX. Yep, this is bearish engulfing, right? Because the real body's engulfing the prior one, right? It's not technically bearish engulfing, needs to be at the top of the range too, but I like it, right? So it looks bearish here, could come down to the trend line and cost. Costco experiencing thoughts. That nice little pullback there on Costco today. So let's see if we can pull back anyway. Well, nice move, right? So it needed to close bullish. Now it needs to close bullishly above today's high to maybe give another shot at those all-time highs. So good. Does the real body need to be larger than the previous candle regardless of the red green engulfing? Yeah, so the definition right here, I'll send you a link to it. Right? Anybody, always recommend, check out Bulkowski's site, right? So engulfing. here's a like bearish engulfing, right? Technically, the real body just needs to engulf the prior real body, right? But the whole candle needs to engulf the prior real candle. Okay. So here's a good example. Let me tweet this in here. Okay. So I'll put that at the bottom there, and then you could, if you go to that website, you can look up bullish engulfing too. You'll see what I'm saying. So, and technically it's a reversal pattern, right? So typically you would see it right at the top of a range, like just like the Morningstar reversal, right? Occurs at like the top of a range, that type of thing. Or I'm sorry, the evening star is at the top and the morning star is at the bottom. So, yeah, good. Actually, yeah, Z. Let's take a look. Nice. Well, here's what it did do. It didn't have that breakout mode, right? I mean, it is nice, right? It closed above that 200-day moving average. Looked like it could work its way up, but right, you still need signals, right, for that, right? So you need it to get above that day's high, then needs to, kind of see that price movement, right? So right now it's an inside day, so we'll see if it breaks down, it might start to test the lower levels, right? So don't be afraid to like look at it alternatively, right? So it could fill this gap down here. So we'll see. This inside day is important, right? So if it breaks up, we might see a test of the cloud top and then continue up. If not, if it break down, we might see it start to fill that gap. And then Diz. Oh yeah. Yeah, I tweeted that out. It's like, oh, if it's weak, look at Disney short. Actually, Disney did have a few short setups today, right? I mean, I think it gave a. Let's see. Maybe it just takes a while to load the 10 because it's a different calculation, right? I mean, for the most part, Disney was actually kind of perished. Wait, hold on. Here. It gave a 10 o'clock jiggle. That's what it was, I believe. Ah! Yeah, so it got up here kind of on the highs and then kind of gave a reversal. Gave a quick little scalp to the short side there. But yeah, then it chopped around for the rest of the day and then done. So what does that do on the daily chart, right? What it did today is we had a nice gap up. I didn't like the red day there. That's why I was like, this might get some follow through to the downside. We had the Disney Plus today. It came out. It started to get kind of bullish. But this thing is just not, like if you like Netflix, it's like, oh, Netflix came out with a new thing. It's awesome, right? It would be like up. But Disney is kind of like, came down, tested the cloud and all that stuff. So we'll see. It might get some follow through to the upside. It has some potential on it. Looking good. MTN VR, the 3 jig will work pretty good. Yeah, we looked at that one. Sorry, that was my YouTube was jumping around. UNH was consolidation. We looked at that. Sean, what's going on? TTD and BSX. Yeah, TTD. Whew. After yesterday, nice follow through. Really honestly kind of a little unexpected. I would have expected a little consolidation because it was right at a little bit of resistance right here, here, and here. But TTD does not care. So let's take a look and see. Before it freezes up on me here. I mean, that's just like type move. Big move right here. Here's your your red bar, and then essentially that 10 pp move. It's a 5 pp move, right? And then all the way up, and then it just kind of chops. So it was really all about the open today for this. So we'll get follow through. Maybe I would still expect some consolidation, maybe an inside bar, something nice in the upper end of the range, and then it could work for a cloud break later. Then BSX. Oh yeah, that was nice. Nice 200-day moving average bounce right there. Down 200-day, up through the. It's got to get through this thin cloud right here. Careful with this one. BSX does like the chop, right? Look at the chop zone right here. Just be careful with that. It moves in chops, sort of like Microsoft. Okay, good. And what's going on? Good evening, Baba and Facebook. Let's take a look. So Baba. Nice hammer right there. Trying to work its way up. Baba's really tricky though. Here's your trend line. It did hold trend, so let's see if it continues to work its way up. We have a pitchfork level up here around that 192.50, 193 level. So keep that in mind. Facebook. Okay, yeah, so this is almost like an evening star because it's coming down below, but we didn't have a bearish red candle right here, but it did gap down, give us a real body below it, and then it pushed up. So this is bullish, right? This is a bullish candle. Just have to be careful. Just have to be careful with that, right? Because what we see here is it's coming over the cloud, right? It's getting a little bit more gravity intensive, right? We'll see. There might be a story tomorrow, Might get some upgrades, things like that. So definitely keep an eye on it. Could be interesting. Good. Experience and thoughts. TGT. Um, inside day down, right? I mean, it's been holding up really well, right? So we've been trying to stock this one, right, as best we could. Nice trend line right here, right? This bar here was swingable, so just tricky, right? So basically got you from 110 to 111. Right now it's just kind of blah at this point. So see if it holds, right? It has this macro trend line right here. So see if it holds that in the cloud, right? And then surprisingly or amazingly, it's got earnings coming up soon. It's like you stock these things between earnings so you can catch these like decent moves, and all it does is chop the entire time. It's like, give me a break. But that's what you get for these non-high beta stocks, right? Like TGT. Godwin, what's going on? I personally had a profitable strategy that stopped working after a while. And why do people say strategies degrade over time? People become aware of them. And wasn't the orb introduced over a decade ago? The orb, yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, sometimes you have to enhance it, um, yeah, and look for reasons that things are changing, right? And a lot of people, say like, if you put an idea out there, right? The algos will get it, and then the market will suddenly be against you, right? I mean, there's setups that break down and don't work, right? And that's the thing, is you just have to know the probabilities of it. Like, how good is the chance based on whatever conditions that it breaks out. And when you see something that fails, right, things are going to fail all the time, right? But when you see something that fails, you need to look and see what the reasons were for it failed. So we always have to learn from failure. That's the key point, right? And so not every cup and handle breaks out, right? Not every falling wedge breaks out, right? But sometimes there's different reasons for it, right? Like there might be a condition that is in that particular cup and handle that wasn't there before. Maybe it's a cloud. Maybe it's the MACD wasn't in the same position, right? You look for variables that in this, so you have to analyze your successful trades versus your unsuccessful ones, right? And nothing works 100% of the time. Even the best traders of all time have said, make sure you have your stops, right? Like, who is it? Like Paul Tudor Jones. Like what do you say? He's like, I look at my positions each day as if they're going to lose, right? So you're constantly looking at it to be like, okay, is this still valid? Is it still good, right? And that really is key, right? Because you can't get complacent in any setup, right? You always have to look, because things get missed. Like I've had setups that work, say like the 15 orb, right? The 15 orb breakout. And it's kind of funny, but you look at it, it's like yeah, it's been around for a long time. The opening range. I mean, it's just big concept. It's been around for more than 10 years. It's been around for at least 30 years, I believe. So I mean, it's not a whole new concept, right? I just kind of found it and was like, wait a second, a lot of people don't necessarily use the 15, some use other ones. I've heard it, when I learned about it, folks were using the 10, and I was like, well, let me find something, try to find something to simplify, right? And yeah, so there's ideas like that, right? So it's important just to continue to test it, and then look for conditions when they do fail, what they were, and then you learn more about it. So you learn, it's like, okay, well, not every 15 orb breaks out, right? So what were the conditions that were different, right? And then you find stuff like, oh, there's pre-market levels that were in the way. There's big selling pressure the day before in that area, right? And so you avoid those, right? And so the ones that do work, right? Usually there's more positive conditions. Then you refine your strategy, right? Okay, so good question. Superstar, what's going on? What does it mean when there's a long candle? Sorry, I'm trying to learn charts and I can't cross it. Oh, it's cool, man. It takes a long time. So what I mean is a big bar, right? And there's something called the average, the ATR, right? The average true range, right? The average true range of a stock. So it's basically the average size of a candle, right, for a particular stock. So let's say like Target might be like, you click over a few of these. The range of this bar is 1.3. This is 1.2. So it's like the average is like 1.5. So when you get a candle like this, that's 6, right? That's like 5 times the ATR, right? Then you get this. It looks like it's gonna be huge, right? It's like, oh, you got this big candle right here. That's what I mean by long, right? Usually like a certain amount bigger than the average, right? For me, like 5 is a pretty good number. 3 could be a good number. 5 intraday is definitely a good number for like certain candles. And so like the 5 minute at the open, things like that. So, but with target here, it's like, oh yeah, it's really bearish. I'm going to go short. And it's like, hold on, hold your horses, right? It takes a pause there, and then it only went down a little bit, right? So when you look at like those, like the Ameren stocks, right? It's like, okay, that's awesome. Oh, this is bullish. This is awesome. Let's go long. And all of a sudden, then it ends up pausing the next day, like Boeing yesterday, right? Let's see if this pulls up for us. Boeing had this huge candle, right? So the average is relatively small, but this day had like a 24-point range. That's a pretty big bar, right? It did a couple things. It hit the 200-day, so you got to notice that, right? It hit the top of this bar right here. That was the scene of the breakdown. It did that, so it did kind of like all the work it was supposed to do or been trying to do, right? It did on some news and all that stuff, but it did its job. And then so is it going to keep going just forever? No, it's not, right? So I mean, a lot of this volume is not just buying, right? So institutions could be selling on the way up, right? And then retail is stuck with the bag, right? You have this inside bar right here, and now we'll see what it does. So that's what I mean. ATR, all good. TCL, what's going on? Insight on QCOM. Yeah, let's take a look. Experience and thoughts will like this one. So QCOM, I don't know why this is a rough one to trade. We traded this successfully, I think a couple earnings ago. Oh, here's the trend line right here. Okay, so here's your trend line right here. Here's your pivots right here. It did close bullishly above it here. Okay, and then it pulled back a little bit. That's a pain, especially with options. Then it gave another bullish close right here. That was the one, right? That was the one. And then it gapped up, paused a little bit, gapped up again. So here it is. Likes to gap up and pause and pull back for a little bit. So that's your big candle I was talking about recently, right? Long candle. And then it paused. Now, a little bit different. This long one right here got a gap follow through, right? That does happen sometimes, but you got to be careful, right? You could always trade it the next day with some intraday techniques, right? So here it's just kind of choppy. So I would just watch for the chop. Okay, Amar, what's going on? Adobe had a boring post double day today. Let's take a look. Oh, no action off the double inside day. Yeah, a little bit of a move up there. Adobe's a tough one to trade. It really is anyway. Yeah, double inside day here kind of gave a little move up. Double inside day, a little move up, 292 up to 294, so 2 points, but nothing explosive. But what it does show here is similar to like the SPX. You have that upper shadow right there. At this point, it probably wants to at least test the low of that double inside day. It might even want to test here. So that's something to look forward to. Market Mike, what's going on? What's up? S-Bucks. Close, but needs to be green tomorrow. Let's take a look. Buy the dip. Buy the drip. Nice move. Came all the way back from way up here, all the way back to the 200-day moving average. And yeah, it didn't close as strong as I'd like it to, right? I would like to see a bullish close. And honestly, it needs to still get above this trend line right here and then start to work its way up. And then it's got cloud up there. And it's just like, It makes it difficult on us. But yeah, nice stuff. Some sweeper activity. Nice. So yeah, you got a nice move off of that one. Yeah, still hanging on to the cloud here. So at this point, it's just kind of consolidating, right? Earnings coming up, so maybe get a little premium boost on that one. So that could be good. And maybe that means something with the call buying. KHC. Ooh, gap and pause. So that's what I'm saying. Big bar right there and pause to the side. So see how that handles it. Right, it's kind of a little drifting right there, but it needs a bullish close over these guys start to get going on. But Kraft probably needs a little catalyst. And triple buying, still some buying on pullbacks. Let's take a look. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, inside day today, so it's about to come over the cliff of the cloud right here, so just be careful with that. Let's look and see. Yep, there's our trend line right there. It's right at that upward trend line. So watch it close below today's low, and then you got that cliff below there. It's a cliffhanger. It's a cliffhanger. Mark, what's going on? Just checked in. Have I done Ameren? Yeah, we looked at Ameren. But we'll look at it again. So Ameren, big day today. Like I said, just be careful of the big bar right there. So, it looks like it filled a gap. It's got a little closing gap right there, so it could, perk up a little bit tomorrow. But then it might, kind of pause for a little bit. But yeah, big day today. Namaste, what's going on? Thanks for showing the 15 order. Been doing it with fib extensions. Good. For targets, been working very well. Good. Great job. Into. Yeah, it's a good technique. Into. Oh, wow. There's another one. Double inside day. This is a tricky one to trade. Double inside day, right at the 200-day moving average. Right, worked its way up 259, all at 262, about 3-point move, and then back in the range. It did close above the 200-day, but an upper shadow. So you just kind of want to hear, let's take a look. Let's do macro. Let's go macro. Okay, so yeah, so there's your trend line right there. Okay, so it really needs to close bullishly over today's high. Then you got that cloud above too, and you got earnings coming up. Makes it tricky. Actually, Boopo. LOL. I think it means something else. It looks funny though. Nate, Roku, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Love the show. Learning lots. Good. That's awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so Roku, here's the macro on this one, right? So it looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, right? C. How's it going to do it? So, well, zigzag, 5, A, B, C, 3, 1, 2. It could be working on its wave 2 up right now. So if we do our Fibonacci on this, go here to here. Okay, so a gap fill on Roku is the 61.8 extension, which is the average, which is kind of like the rule of thumb for wave 2s, right? So we'll see if we get there. So gap fill and then a possible work its way down. It might be done already if the market, stays pretty weak overnight. But here we would expect like a, 2. There'd be like a little wave 1 right there. Right then we'd expect, maybe like a wave 3 down here. Then another move up 4. Then ultimately a 5. Right? And that would be the corrective pattern. What we could do is we could put a channel around this from here to here. Right? And see how it holds this channel. So that would give us some targets, right? And then you could put a midpoint line in there of this channel, like this. Okay? So now you can see what it's doing, right? So it gave you that wave 1 down. Could work its wave up 2. Could go up here. I'm not saying it's the end. Right? But I mean, the market is going to want to sucker as many people in long as possible, right? So if here to here. So that would be at the intersection here of the channel, right? And that is the 78.6, right? So that's another possibility for wave 2. And then it works its down, maybe wave 3. Who knows here? Wave 4, maybe back to the cloud. And then who knows? Maybe just a nasty wave 5 down there. It could go any one of those ways, but something to look at for Roku. That's a good one. I'm saving that chart so I don't miss it. Call it Elliott wave. Good. All right, cool. Yeah, so there's Roku. So it looks like it might come up a little bit if it breaks out of the cloud, fill the gap, and then just watch this channel. So if you can draw that channel from there to there and bring it down to this bottom right here, it kind of gives a little perspective on it. Good. Thank you for tuning in. Market Mike, some big money is buying these beaten down charts. Ton of activity. The rotation is real. They're even buying JCPenney. Hope you have a great night, and tomorrow for trading. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. Let's see. So JCP, they're coming in. Yeah, so they're buying some retail there. So there you go. Experience and thoughts. You got Target, right? Some stuff like that. But yeah, these have been beaten down for a long time. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. They have earnings coming up, so maybe they're just trying to get a little bit of a move off of it. Okay. M-Hawk, what's happening? GME. Cheers. Thank you. GME. So GameStop, the penny stock. So this is one of my friend's forever short ideas here. So it did work its way up a little bit, right? So you have, if we go to the, let me pull up a trend line right here. There, lows, okay, there. right? So it started to give some opportunities here once it got to this trend line. Some minor pivots, a bullish close right here, worked its way up, pull back, another move up here. So it's trying to get there. It really is. 200-day moving average. Watch that. Could be some resistance there. Good. Experience cost RSI negative divergence. I think. Let's take a look. Let's create a new one here. There we go. All right. So negative divergence. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it is. Right. So here to here. See if that will save. Okay. And then here to here. So yes. So we made a higher high on the price, but a lower high on the RSI. So yes, that would be some bearish divergence. So it could imply some further downside movement, right? It also did it here. Higher high here, right? Lower high here. I prefer it when it happens in the overbought range, right? Usually a little more powerful moves, and that gave you that move right there, right? So whenever you're overbought or oversold, right, and you can catch those, so it could be interesting. Yeah, but here too, I mean, here it failed, right? Right? It's got to be careful. That is all. It did put a high here, right? So you had this high here, though. Yeah, that bearish divergence right there. So and then it went down. So you just got to be careful. Always look at the price action. That's always the most important, right? What are the candles saying? What is the price saying? Good stuff. Nice. MTN? My pleasure. Experience and thoughts. SQ, is that an ascending triangle on a daily? Let's see. Whew. It'd be stretching. It would be stretching. Let's see. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on here. It's freezing up. Okay. So it'd be tough. I mean, we'll go with it. It's trying. Let's see if we can get out of that cloud there. Nice one. Good catch on that one. Good. MTN shop. Let's take a look. Shop with the potential drop. So shop here is holding its 200-day moving average. Okay. But this I just love the similar to Roku. It hasn't had as wide a move as Roku. But give it a second here. If let's see if the charts pull up. There it is. Okay, so similar to Roku. Okay, so this looks just like it. Nate, if you're still around, very, very similar. You have that sharp move down. There's your zigzag down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ABC up, and it's all contained within this channel, right? It's corrective channel, right? Then now we have 1, 2, and possibly a subwave 1, 2 of that zigzag working its way down here. So we'll see. If that is the case, we're at the top of the channel, this thing could really go down. Now it does have the 200 moving average right here as potential support, but I just love how it gave us that little doji day right there at the cloud at the top of the channel. It was beautiful. It was a beaut. And then it worked its way down. Also the 50% retracement. I mean, all these confluence lines right here, and then it gave a nice down move. So anyway. So that's where shop is right now, I think. So now if it does end up pushing over this channel, then this count is wrong, right? And we have to switch to this guy if it'll pull up. I just like how it's been respecting that channel. Give it a second as it pulls the data up here. I don't know why it's always slower at night. It's like there's no fresh data coming through. Let's see if that pulls up for us here. Hello. It might not pull up. Oh, there we go. It was a different one. I was on the wrong drawing. Okay, so yeah, so if it does break through this channel here, then my count is wrong, and this was actually right, the wave A, and this is A, B, C, wave B, and then we get to the top of the cloud, and then we flush, right? That's why we always have to be careful. Like so, like we did a big series on Jesse Livermore before, right? So one of the techniques that I learned from him, which I think is really cool, is that you don't have to go in, right? Like the whole purpose, you always hear me say, stay safe, manage your risk, right? It's all about the risk, right? So, if I think this is going to be short, right? Am I going to, put all my eggs in one basket, right? No, right? I need to, set it up, test it out, right? Buy a call, buy a couple calls, or I mean puts, right? And see if it works. If it starts to work and your thesis is confirmed, that's what Livermore did. Like he's like, let me put a little bit out there and just see if it's going right. So you make a little profit along the way, and you have to have that big picture move, right? So with options, like we always want to get it the next day, but if you're really looking for the move down to here, right? You can't just buy like next week options to do it, right? So you really got to start. So once your thesis is confirmed, you can add on the way down, and that's what he used to do, and he'd crush it, right? So he'd have these key inflection points that he used, right? These key turning points, and then once his position was confirmed, then he'd add to his position. But once he was confirmed, when it was denied, right? He only had a small position, so he took a small loss, and then could reevaluate to see what the market is doing. So this is the alternative, right? The alternative count is that we're still working on the move, right? And we might break out up here, and then we flush, right? So that's two alternatives there. So pretty interesting stuff. Session, yeah, let's take a look. W day. Whew. W day is tricky. Inside day. I think I have some trend lines. There you go. So there's a trend line right there. But this trend line actually does look like a channel as well. So just kind of keep an eye on that. See if it kind of works over to the channel right here. You got earnings coming up. So it could be very, very interesting at earnings. Adobe, we just looked at that. Had a double inside day. Tried to work its way up. Gave a couple points there and then came back in the range. So very, very consolidated right here. Almost looks like a pennant. So it may take a little bit of time. TLT. You love that TLT. That's cool though. Okay. So yeah, up here, pulling back to the 200-day moving average a little bit. Right, see how that holds. See how this trend holds. Right, last time we looked at it, right, this down move, nice bar right there, gave a little push up. Same here, we'll keep an eye on it. MDB. Oh, got the wrong chart up here. Good. Yeah, MDB looks like it's just kind of needs to prove itself in some way. It needs to at least close over this level. Basically, closing over the cloud bullishly with increased volume would get me interested in it. And then Netflix with the inside day, if I recall. Yep, inside day at the cloud. Sorry guys, I know it's messy here. Inside day at the cloud. So see if we could, inside day up could be a cloud break, so it could be interesting. Good. Andy, my pleasure. TCL. Oh, thank you so much. Brian, what's going on? Any good REITs? I'm not a real REITs guy. I'm not a real, but if you send me a chart, I could look at the chart. Look at the chart. Yeah, I mean we could look at if there's like a good REIT ETF or something like that. We could just kind of see what that's doing. Give us a good move. What do we have? What are they? I think one of them is like actually like REIT. Just kind of give us an idea. Global REIT ETF. Here, right, so nice move to the channel, so you can see if it's working its way up there. What else is there? The Vanguard one, right? VNQ. Okay, similar. They're all looking like they're kind of consolidating here, like working their way back a little bit. So with this one, right, you'd want a bullish close over this level, over this like 92, type thing. So just keep an eye on it. So it's interesting. Then you can kind of dig into it, if you want to. If you're interested, you could go into like the VNQ and see what its right, like what the highest rated stock is like on its, or the highest rated REIT is on its, right? And then you can kind of go. So, if you have the yes, if you know the VNQ, and then it's got what it's made up of, right? You could find like whatever the highest one is. So like the number one holding of like VNQ is like American Tower, right? Crown Castle. I mean, those aren't really REITs, but let's say like Simon Property Group, right? What's the ticker for that? Simon Property. There we go. SPG. So you look at something like that. That's rated pretty highly on that like ETF, right? So you can kind of see it's pulling back a little bit and look for a close over this high and see if that works, right? It's coming ex dividend coming up, right? But if it breaks out, you might see a little move up to its 200-day moving average. Something like that. Mark, yeah, my pleasure. Wendy, what's going on? Good morning. Max, what's happening? Thoughts on SP? Let's take a look. SP looks like a little bit of a bull flag, so that could be good. It's a tight one, but it's possible. Here to here, then there. So definitely keep an eye on that one. Could be interesting. Good. Wendy, ARWR. Ooh. So after 10:30, but I am happy to look at these. Arrowhead Pharmaceuticals, nice move today, nice bullish move, nice volume. Gosh, so extended, so tough to buy up here. It really is. But the time to have bought this thing was like literally here, right? Or here, right? So it had some time, and then you're good. It's so tough to buy up there. But I mean, it's bullish. It's bullish to prove it otherwise, right? C day. Again, nice stuff. Have we done this one before? If not, I'm going to put a trend line on it. I'm doing it. It's right here. Here's your pivots right here. So yeah, this would have been a good day potential to get up to the cloud, and then it of course moved through on earnings. Pays. Sorry, it jumps around sometimes. Oh, I know it is. I hit tab and it jumps around. Okay, that's probably it. Pays. Tricky. Nice move off of earnings. Nice pullback to around the 200-day moving average with the hammer right there. And there's that channel we talked about, right? So it gave that bullish day right here after earnings. I like that one, so it's still working on it. Today was a nice day too. So see if we can get here above these levels and try to work its way out of the cloud. It's still working on it. It's looking okay though. LASR. Laser. Okay, cool. Yeah, nice bullish close over this pivot right here a couple days ago. I mean, bullish till proven otherwise. Looking good. Nice catch on that one, Shirley. MHawk. Oh yeah, the realty income. Nice job. That's a good one. Good one, guys. Looking good. Yeah, lots of these are just pulling back right here, so they're looking pretty interesting. Bottom of the pitchfork, top of the cloud. Could have some opportunity on it. Good stuff. Yeah, Brian, good question. Max, awesome. Good. All right, guys. Well, 10:30, so thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Great chart request tonight. Appreciate everybody's support. If you're new here, definitely subscribe on YouTube. We have a lot of fun doing this. We cover different topics, go over cool new technical ideas. If I discover something cool, I like to share, so everybody can benefit from it. And yeah, and I hope everybody has a great rest of your evening. And remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you soon.